Welcome to Loving Energy Recharge and your daily Oracle card reading for January the 19th. First of all, I need to start off with a thank you for those that have been following the messages this week and are sticking to it. You're willing to ride out this journey because we have been going through some really heavy energy. Now, it's important to understand that we just went through the full moon in Cancer, which is a water sign that is deeply digging into the emotional energy to bring up to the surface those things that are ready to go. But that does create a whole big sense of getting clear on what is becoming toxic in your environment, and not just in the last couple of days or this month, but literally in the last 2 years. In all of these changes since COVID came, since the world was shook upside down, we have been carrying a lot of emotional energy, and it does feel really thick right now and really draining on the energy because it's all getting stirred up. There's a lot of things that are coming up to the surface, and that is what I see as those murky waters or getting stuck in the mud. When we don't allow ourselves to rise above the current situation, meaning we're looking at this period in our life and we're looking at the challenges, and yes, it's been 2 years, it's going on for a period of time, but also recognizing that over the course of humanity, there has been many situations where we have been faced with the plague, or we have been faced with fires and floods and famines, and all sorts of, wars is a big example of that. Many parts of our history have created some very challenging times. But when you treat life as that history book and you allow yourself to look at how it unfolded, you will also see that out of every disaster, every challenge, every crumbling, there did come hope. There did come change, there did come peace, there did come other things that benefited society from those experiences. And a lot of times it's getting really clear at looking at the mud, looking at the devastation, looking at what is not working, to then rise above it and say, this has to stop and this has to change. So I am no longer going to play the game. I am no longer going to feed into the heavy suppressing energy and allow myself to be succumbed by the doom and the gloom. I am not going to give that to my children. I am not going to hand down my emotional baggage. I'm not going to feed into those energies of trying to blame somebody else, but I'm going to rise up and I'm going to take responsibility for me. I'm going to know that this is a period of life that we are going to get through it. How we are going to get through it is not in our control, except how you personally manage your way through. Are you using this as a time for healing? Are you using this as a time of reflecting? Are you using this as a time of getting clear on your character, your values, your contribution to the overall energy? I have a vision right now of mixing oil and water, and you may want to try this yourself at home as a little science experiment. Put in a glass of water a couple drops of cooking oil. Notice how it does not dissolve, it does not separate in the glass, but it stays whole. And not only does it stay whole, but those little droplets of the oil, they band together to form one bigger glob. Now that is what it's like to become contaminated. When you allow the purity of your water to pick up on all of the suppressing energies out there, focusing on the doom and gloom, focusing on the blame game, the victim game, the lack game, while your purity is getting so clouded by that thicker oil, meaning it is now weighing on your mind, it is causing stress on the body, it is causing you to get stuck in only thinking a certain way, getting caught up in the mob mentality, feeding into the whole story of this day is hard, this day sucked. You can take a good journey back on your social media pages as a starter to see, where's my attitude been at for the last couple days? If I scroll back on my social pages, how many posts do I have of complaining or speaking of things that are wrong or sharing things that, I probably shouldn't put out there for the public, but I was hurting and I wanted somebody to pay for it? Or can I look back at my posts and see, I was offering some messages of hope. I was offering some beauty that I was seeing out in the world. I had human moments where, yes, I shared in some struggles, but that I was also lifting other people up. I was being real in the moment, but in a way that was empowering. Our overall energy today is courage. And that message is speaking to the whole concept of what it means to be courage. Strength, fierceness, family. How do you want to show up for your tribe? How do you want to show up for people that are reading your social posts? For people that are meeting you out and about in public? For people that are in your presence, in your workplace, in your families, in your proximity? How do you want to show up? Are you going to be the oil? Are you going to be the water? Where is your courage in this fight for humanity? So our overall soul's message for today comes to us in protection, and the message is guide. The illuminated path. You are your guide. You are determining which direction you're going to go in. You are determining what energy you're going to embody. You are determining how you are guiding others that you are influencing by your actions, by your behaviors, by your belief. So we have a free will choice to choose. It is up to you. So we go into the action step. We have card number 10, and that is wholeness. The action step is the sacred breath and sound. Our ability to breathe is the miracle of life. Our sound is how we speak, how we communicate to others through our actions, through our energy, through our connections. How do we want to show up? What kind of world do we want to create through that sacred breath and that sound? Have we forgotten the gift of life? Have we forgotten the beauty of the world? Have we forgotten that we are here to work together to create heaven on earth? Have we forgotten that it starts within us? That if we're not clear on our emotions and our behaviors and our attitudes, if we don't clean off our own doorsteps, dust out our own closets, do the work, how can we expect the world around us to do it? How can we expect others to change if we're not willing to change ourselves? How can we expect the children to grow and thrive when we are repeating patterns that are going to have them sinking? They are mimicking our behavior. Breathing back into you. Every day, every moment, we are gifted a new opportunity. It's time to claim back your sacred breath. It's time to claim back your sacred sound. It's time to know and remind yourself that you matter. You deserve respect. You deserve to be loved. But what is love? If you don't spend the time with you and get clear on your wants and your needs, how will you know what your love sound is? How will you know what it is to receive it? Spending that time with you. Building that deep relationship with you. That is the most important relationship you will ever have, is the relationship with you. Spend that time today connecting with your breath, asking yourself, reflecting, how do I want to show up? What do I want to send out there in the vibrational energy? How do I want to take care of my sacred waters? How do I want to remove this oil spill, this toxicity that has been allowed to creep in? How do I want to claim the courage and the strength and the conviction for me and guide myself forward in this day? We are loved so deeply that we are given the free will choice to choose in every single moment. The power is truly in your hands, in your sacredness. You have been entrusted with such a gift, and you get to decide what to do with that gift. You only get this lifetime. Yes, you're going to have others, but in this moment, in this period of your evolution, you have this lifetime. You chose to be here in this lifetime. So what are you going to do in that timeline you have been gifted? What is the legacy that you will leave behind for others? What is going to be written in the history book, in your Akashic records? What is the stamp on the book of your life? Were you oil? Were you water? Were you courageous enough to separate? Were you courageous enough to connect to your sacred breath? To not drown in the emotional energy? Are you aware of the sound that you put out for others? Do you allow yourself to be playful, to be fun? Not taking life so seriously? Do you allow yourself to be creative, expressive, innovative, different? How beautiful it is when you look out at a world that is different. No snowflake that is the same. No water drop that is the same. So many different variations of leaves and plants and animals and insects. So much beauty in the uniqueness, yet all so connected. What can you do in the sacred breath of you today to celebrate your uniqueness? The gifts that you can bring forward to help serve humanity by first serving yourself. Dusting off those inner treasures. Guiding yourself to remember those innate abilities you have that can benefit the whole. Giving yourself permission to laugh. Laughter is the best medicine. They often bring laughter into hospitals for sick children. There is nothing more precious than the gift of being able to laugh and to let go. There is nothing more precious than the laugh from a newborn baby, excited and stimulated by the world. Let us all bring more laughter into the world today. Let us all bring more joy into the sacred breath today, into the communication today. Let us all lift up another as we lift up ourselves today. And if you've stayed to the end, thank you. Thank you for being a part of the sacred water. Thank you for being courageous enough to separate yourself from the oil, to feel the light inside you, to feel how, yes, you absolutely can make a difference in this world, and to not give up on you. We're sending you all much love.